What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Diego Lopes has opened up about what he believes was a major mistake in his first fight against Volk. In a recent interview, Lopes admitted that his mindset going into that bout was completely wrong, as he became too focused on landing a single fight-ending punch. He explained that throughout the fight, he was hunting for a one-punch knockout, and because of that, he abandoned many of the things he had worked on in training. Lopes said that in the first fight, he only tried to finish Volk with one big shot and forgot several important details. He admitted that he forgot the best thing in his life, which is enjoying the moment inside the cage. According to Lopes, when he is relaxed and fully present, that is when he becomes the most dangerous fighter in the division. By chasing the knockout too hard, he felt tense, rushed, and disconnected from his usual flow. He also reflected on the preparation for that fight and took responsibility for his approach. Lopes revealed that ego played a big role during that camp. He believed he did not need to change or improve anything, but after the fight, he realized there were many issues with how he trained. He said the gym environment was full of distractions, with too many people around, which affected his focus and discipline. Because of those lessons, Lopes has made a major change for his current training camp. He confirmed that he now has a private gym reserved only for himself and his team. The goal is to eliminate distractions, sharpen his mindset, and fully commit to the process. Lopes believes this new approach will allow him to enjoy the moment again, trust his skills, and show the best version of himself when he steps back into the cage. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Kamaru Usman has found himself at the center of major backlash after footage from his latest YouTube video began circulating online. The clip showed Usman speaking on the phone with Anthony Joshua while Joshua was in the hospital recovering from a tragic incident that claimed the lives of his coach and training partner. Once viewers realized the call was recorded and later published, criticism quickly poured in from across the MMA community. Many fans were upset that the conversation appeared to be filmed without Anthony Joshua's knowledge. The backlash intensified when it became clear the clip was included in Usman's video rather than being edited out. Out of respect for Joshua, the footage itself was not reshared widely, but reactions from fans and fighters spread rapidly online. Comments described the situation as disgusting and shameful, with people questioning why a private and emotional moment was recorded in the first place. Others pointed out that Usman could have easily stepped away to take the call in private instead of staying in a room full of people and putting it on speaker. Some accused him of intentionally farming content, while others said it showed a complete lack of awareness. Several fans said they lost all respect for him, arguing that even if permission was later given, the initial intention still looked wrong. The criticism continued to snowball, with people calling out modern content culture and how private moments are often sacrificed for views. Even Colby Covington was mentioned by some fans, claiming his past comments about Usman were validated by this incident. As the backlash grew, multiple accounts that had shared the clip suddenly took it down. Just a few hours later, Kamaru Usman released a public statement addressing the situation and accepting responsibility. He explained that the day was fully filmed as part of preparation for a show, and it completely slipped his mind that the conversation with Anthony Joshua was being recorded at the time. In his statement, Usman said it was heartbreaking to see how the situation was perceived, but he understood the criticism. He admitted that he failed to properly review the final edit of the video and should have made sure the moment was removed to protect Joshua's privacy. Taking full accountability, Usman said the mistake was entirely on him. Usman ended his statement by saying he would never intentionally do something like that to a friend or brother, and acknowledged the situation as a big loss on his part. The controversy has sparked wider discussion about boundaries, privacy, and responsibility when cameras are always rolling. Moving on to another news, Arman laughs at Paddy Pimblett's grappling after a clip from a recent submission tournament started making the rounds online. In the footage, Paddy competes at King of the Mat and ends up tapping to a calf slicer early in the match. The moment quickly went viral, and it did not take long for Arman to see it and fire back on social media. Reacting on X, Arman reposted the clip and added a sharp caption, calling Paddy a trash can and mocking the idea that Paddy once claimed he could out-grapple him. The post immediately caught attention across the MMA community and added fuel to an already heated rivalry. The reaction did not stop there. On Instagram, Arman followed up with another post, this time taking a shot at Ilya as well. He shared a short training video and wrote that he had finally found a sparring partner to help him prepare for Ilya. In the caption, Arman joked about Ilya's past comments, referencing the claim that Arman could not shoot a double leg on a shorter opponent. The back and forth continues to escalate online, keeping fans locked in as tensions rise across the lightweight scene right now, everywhere. Moving on to another news, it looks like we could be heading toward a third clash between Daniel Cormier and Jon Jones. In a recent video posted on his YouTube channel, Cormier explained that tensions flared while filming a reality show in Thailand, leading to heated arguments about competing again. During one of those exchanges, he said he actually agreed to face Jones in a boxing match, as long as it was strictly boxing. According to Cormier, the idea came up more than once while they were together, and the trash talk never really cooled down. He also revealed that they discussed a wrestling match, which he believes is far more realistic and exciting. Cormier said multiple organizations have already shown interest in making some form of matchup happen, and he teased that an announcement could come sooner rather than later. If the bout does materialize, Cormier made it clear that he is extremely confident in his chances, even going as far as predicting a dominant 10-0 performance against Jones. Cormier went on to explain that the wrestling discussion gained the most attention online. He said he told Jones he would wrestle him in real American freestyle wrestling and that he would beat him convincingly. This stemmed from Jones previously mentioning the idea of an exhibition or charity grappling match, something Cormier insists he did not make up. He even joked with his producer to pull up the old clip to prove the idea originally came from Jones. Despite being 46 years old, Cormier stressed that he is still deeply involved in wrestling on a regular basis. He coaches the sport, wrestles several days a week with younger athletes, and continues drilling techniques and practicing movements. Because of that, he said he does not understand why anyone would assume he could lose a wrestling match at this stage of his life. Cormier acknowledged that talk is one thing, but action is what really matters. He emphasized that he is not the only person discussing a potential wrestling match between himself and Jones, but he might be the only one doing it publicly. He closed by saying that if Jones ever steps onto that line with him, the outcome would be decisive, promising a technical 10-0 finish. All of this keeps the rivalry alive, adding intrigue and intensity to their long shared history outside the octagon, as fans watch closely moving forward. Moving on to another news, Michael Chandler has shared his prediction for the upcoming Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett fight, which is now just days away. With both fighters nearing the end of their training camps, predictions are pouring in from across the MMA world, and Chandler has added his voice to the conversation during a recent interview with Brett Okamoto. Chandler explained that when it comes to overall skill, experience, and toughness, he believes Justin Gaethje is the more complete fighter. He described Gaethje as dangerous in every area and someone who thrives in high-pressure fights. According to Chandler, Gaethje's style, power, and durability make him a very difficult matchup for anyone in the division. However, Chandler also made it clear that Paddy Pimblett is better than many fans give him credit for. He said that Paddy is often underestimated because of his haircut, personality, and the way he carries himself, along with questions surrounding his strength of schedule. Despite that, Chandler believes Paddy has real skills and continues to improve each time he steps into the cage. Reflecting on his own fight with Paddy earlier this year in Miami, Chandler said he was not surprised by Paddy's performance because he prepared for the best version of him. Still, he admitted that Paddy showed qualities that many people overlook. Chandler pointed out Paddy's long reach, effective kicking game, patience, and composure, noting that he stays calm even in chaotic moments. Even with that respect for Paddy, Chandler ultimately leaned toward Gaethje when making his pick. He said Gaethje is simply a different animal, and if he had to choose a winner, Gaethje would be his choice. Chandler then went a step further, predicting that Gaethje could go on to become interim champion and later defeat Ilya before the year is over. Moving on to another news, Strickland has explained why a fight with former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker is something he has no interest in pursuing. Speaking during a recent interview with John Bernard Sius on the Kairos Bras YouTube channel, Strickland shared his unfiltered thoughts and made it clear that the matchup does nothing for him on a personal or competitive level. Strickland said that despite Whittaker's accomplishments and reputation, the fight simply does not excite him. He used a blunt analogy, comparing the matchup to something that everyone else has already experienced, saying it feels worn out and unappealing. According to Strickland, even though Whittaker is a world-class fighter, That alone is not enough to motivate him to step into the cage. He went on to explain that Whittaker's long career and the number of high-level opponents he has faced are actually part of the reason he is uninterested. Strickland described it as Whittaker having a body count that is too high, meaning the challenge no longer feels fresh or unique. For him, excitement and novelty play a huge role in deciding who he wants to fight next. Strickland emphasized that he wants opponents who spark something in him, fighters who bring a different kind of energy and unpredictability. That is when he mentioned Fluffy, making it clear that this is the matchup that truly gets him fired up. He said Fluffy represents something new and different, a style that creates curiosity and excitement rather than boredom. According to Strickland, fighting someone like Fluffy feels engaging and entertaining, even joking about the kind of pressure and awkward grappling exchanges that could come with it. Overall, his message was clear. Legacy alone does not interest him. He wants fights that feel alive, uncomfortable, and exciting. And in his view, Robert Whittaker no longer fits that description. Moving on to another news. Mike Perry has revealed that he nearly found himself in one of the wildest crossover matchups imaginable. On a recent episode of his Overdogs podcast, Perry explained that there were serious talks about offering him an MMA fight against former heavyweight boxing champion Andy Ruiz, with the bout potentially taking place in Saudi Arabia. According to Perry, the idea was brought to him direct, and even he was shocked by how crazy the matchup sounded. He recalled reacting with disbelief at first, openly admitting that facing Ruiz in an MMA fight could be extremely dangerous. Perry joked that Ruiz would probably kill him, but despite that, he did not sound intimidated by the idea at all. As the conversation continued on the podcast, Perry leaned into his fearless reputation. He said that kind of fight is exactly the type of opportunity he would never turn down. Even when acknowledging the risk, Perry made it clear that walking away was never an option in his mind. The danger almost seemed to excite him more than anything else. Perry explained that if the fight had gone through, he would have gone in fully aware of the challenge ahead. He said that knowing he might be in serious trouble would not stop him from stepping into the cage and giving it everything he had. For Perry, the appeal was about testing himself against a massive name from another combat sport and seeing what could happen. While the matchup ultimately did not materialize, the story highlights just how unpredictable the combat sports world can be. It also reinforces Perry's image as someone who thrives on chaos and risk, always willing to take on extreme challenges for the right opportunity, no matter how dangerous it might seem. Moving on to another news. Yesterday we covered the entire Tapology and Michael Morales situation, so we will not go too deep into the background again. If you want the full breakdown and context, you can check out yesterday's video where everything was explained in detail. What matters now is what happened next, and the timing caught a lot of people by surprise. Shortly after our video went public, Tapology reversed its original decision regarding Michael Morales' fight record. The two bouts in question are now officially being listed as exhibitions rather than professional fights. This change directly impacts how Morales' record is displayed moving forward and puts an end to the confusion that had been circulating online. Tapology followed up the reversal by releasing an official statement addressing the situation. In the statement, they provided an update on the Ultima Pele League in Ecuador and clarified how it affects Michael Morales' MMA record. They confirmed that the fights would be reclassified as exhibitions, acknowledging the controversy and backlash surrounding the initial ruling. The statement also included a blunt and self-aware message, noting that they expect plenty of colorful responses on social media criticizing the decision. Tapology openly admitted that people would likely call them stupid, thanked everyone in advance for the reactions, and emphasized that their main priority is fairness and accuracy. According to Tapology, getting the record correct matters more than avoiding criticism, and this reversal was made to ensure the information reflects reality as closely as possible. Moving on to another news. Michael Morales has just confirmed some massive developments regarding his future, including a potential title fight against Islam Makhachev that is already being worked on behind the scenes. Morales recently sat down with Spanish ESPN journalist Carlos Contreras Legaspi and shared details that go far beyond rumors. According to Morales himself, discussions are active for a championship bout, and possible dates are already being targeted. During the interview, Morales also addressed the recent Tapology controversy that briefly shook up his record. He explained that his record was suddenly modified after older fights were mistakenly reclassified as professional. Morales said the situation caught him completely off guard, especially because those bouts were never meant to count toward his official record. After internal discussions involving his manager, the show's production team, and Tapology, the issue was resolved and his record was reverted back to undefeated status. Morales broke down how the confusion started. He explained that the fight in question took place in 2017 on a television show in Ecuador called The Last Fight. From the beginning, it was clearly explained to the fighters that these were exhibition bouts, not professional contests. The rounds were shorter. The format resembled The Ultimate Fighter. It and competitors advanced through different phases. Morales admitted he lost one of those fights at just 17 years old, but emphasized he has never hidden that fact and mentions it openly in interviews. However, he stressed that it was not a professional bout under standard rules and should never be listed on his record. He also pointed out that the event was never sanctioned under proper professional standards and that he even competed at different weights during the same show, which alone proves it was not a legitimate pro competition. Morales said Tapology did not initially investigate the event thoroughly, but once his manager reached out and the producers confirmed the facts, everything was corrected. His record now stands at 19-0, and he says the focus is fully on what comes next. That next step appears to be huge. Morales revealed that fight number 20 is expected to be a title fight and confirmed that negotiations are already underway. Until now, the welterweight title matchup was only rumored to be targeted for the White House card. Morales has now revealed June or July as the likely window, strongly suggesting the UFC is lining up Islam Makhachev against him for that event. Adding more credibility, Islam himself recently said the UFC offered him Morales back in January, an offer he had to turn down at the time. With both sides now aligned and discussions moving forward, Morales says everything depends on the opponent's health, but he is ready and fully prepared for the opportunity ahead.